who plays Mr. Bean? And he said, hi.
Take, but the good thing about a take is you can cut.
Rowan Atkinson is best known for his iconic roles as Mr. Bean and Johnny English, bringing joy to millions through his comedic talents. But beyond the stage and screen, Atkinson has a profound passion for automobiles, amassing an enviable collection of supercars. 1939 BMW 328 Roadster. The tin top stars 1939. 1939. Given BMW 328 Roadster is certainly a good looker, an eternal classic. It is undoubtedly a tribute to the golden age of prestigious international races. But before moving further in it, can you please take a moment to press that red button to subscribe for more interesting and latest videos? Now let's roll back to our video. This silver BMW undoubtedly made its way to the top of the market in the late 30s, becoming victor not only in Bucharest, but also across Europe generally, achieving closure with this trophy belt at Grand Prix de Frontières. In Nuremberg and in the Mille Miglia classical races in the same year, the BMW 328 had become a top car with a class victory and a general victory. The .44 described the 328's performance, which may seem to be a bored implementation today, but in its era, this car was formidable. It used a 2.0-liter, 2.0-liter, inline-six engine with 80 horsepower and 93 pounds-feet of torque, paired with a 4-speed manual transmission and rear-wheel drive. It was reported to have the highest top speed of 93 amp, which was remarkable for the time. 1989 Lancia Thema 8.32. The Lancia Thema 8.32 is more than a car. It is a sleeper car that could steal your heart and hide everything behind a seemingly small car body. Although the Lancia doesn't have any features that will grab your immediate attention, it is discreet with the large 2.9-liter V8 engine. The role of the 8.32 Thema being unique and at the same time powering the car with Ferrari power, although low in torque compared to all the other cars in the class, made customers willing to pay more. This is the most powerful engine ever available in a Focus, over 215 bhp at 7,000 RPM of power and 210 lb-ft of torque at 4,500 RPM through a 5-speed manual transmission going to the front-wheel drive system. It's not a road imperator, but 146 mph is a decent pace. The sumptuous walnut dashboard, leather seats, and remanufactured suspension, which elegantly distinguished the 832 and added a layer of luxury to Atkinson's cars, made it feel quite attractive. 1977 Aston Martin 8 Vantage. The 77 V8 Vantage. Aston Martin was, in a way, more like a supercar, resembling a muscle car, but it was super fast anyway. This was cranked up by the 4th generation, 5.3-liter V8 engine that was taken from the Lagonda and gave an output of 390 horsepower and torque of 406 pound-feet. It was able to run at a top speed of 170. The engine had modified inlet valves, plugs, ejector, and camshaft, resulting in its high output. In 1984, Rowan Atkinson became the new owner of his Burgundy Vantage, which wasn't just his everyday car, but something special and out of the ordinary. The ad said he was a right-hand drive model, but he eventually bought into the concept too and ended up with a left-hand drive. This Aston Martin V8 Vantage was featured in the James Bond homage, Johnny English Strikes Again, thus adding a certain cinematic glamour to it. 2002 Honda NSX. In 2002, Honda updated its NSX design appearance to be the same as other illustrious roadsters. The Japanese car maker added a sport suspension, ditched the pop-up headlights for the fixed HIDs, and extended the front bumper apart from other minor alterations. The newest version of the Honda NSX features revised suspension that ensures more precise handling and makes the NSX even quicker and faster. By utilizing a 3.0-liter V6 engine and reaching 252 horsepower, 104 pound-feet of torque. The new NSX came out with a high-revving transverse V6 DOHC engine that was a real technological wonder, boosting it to the top of the Honda performance model. Customers could choose a 4-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual transmission and have a top speed of 168 mph. Nevertheless, the NSX sales were underwhelming, leading to its discontinuation 3 years after its refurb. 1997, McLaren F1. Using a naturally aspirated engine, the 1997 McLaren F1 was the fastest when Mr. Rowan Atkinson happened to buy it. The F1 had a top speed of 243 mph, the fastest ever turbine at the time, operating at the velocity of 250 mph, courtesy of the brain of Gordon Murray. Its 6.1-liter V12 engine was so hot that the car manufacturer had to gold plate the engine bay with heat-resistant gold to shield the car from its temperatures. This engine outstrips its predecessor with 618 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque, which is transferred through a 6-speed manual transmission to the rear-wheel drive configuration. If the McLaren F1 was a rocket ship, it ran on tar and made pebbles fly. Atkinson's ownership of the McLaren F1 occurred almost at the end of an eventful history involving 2 crashes. The colossal repair expenditures incurred due to his second crash notwithstanding, he offloaded the McLaren F1 for an attractive sum of £8 million. Indeed, a remarkable multiplication of his original investment. Jaguar MK7. Due to the fact that Jaguars presented the MK7 as a less costly way to reach the luxury position previously owned by Bentley and Rolls-Royce, it became a very popular choice among buyers. However, MK7 had a sporting background shaped by great drivers of the period, such as Sterling Moss and Mike Hawthorne, who used MK7 in various races. It was powered by a 3.4-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, producing 160 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque with a 4-speed manual transmission and a rear-wheel driveline. Rowan Atkinson owned and used his MK7 Jag to attend various race meetings, with his first podium being achieved during the Sopwith Cup at Goodwood in April this year. Although the car was comfortable and reliable, the Jaguar MK7 he owned had a road-ending incident in 2009, which may have been a little too hot-headed for a first date. 1964, Ford Falcon Sprint. Due to sales figures, the history of winning motorsport competitions for the Ford Falcon turned out to be better than in the American market. The Sprint Pack, on the other hand, had stiffer suspension, extra loud exhaust, and a V8 engine. Apart from all its merits, however, the Sprint fell behind the Mustang, both offering similar features by default. The Ford Falcon Sprint came equipped with a 4.7-liter V8 engine, good for 165 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. The Falcon Sprint was Rowan Atkinson's pick for its racing qualities, and he used it to work with the FIA rules. In 2014, Atkinson was driving a Falcon Sprint when he narrowly avoided a collision, leading him to collide head-on with 2 vehicles that had collided in front of him. He escaped without any scratches, and it was nothing but a tiny dent. 2011 Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead. Rowan Atkinson's Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead, with an experimental 16-liter 9-liter engine under its immense bonnet, was an irreplaceable one. Atkinson laid down the condition and then told Rolls-Royce to fit this engine in the Phantom for the film Johnny English Reborn. While the specifications of the engine are classified, it is known to produce at least 563 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque. The transmission is a 6-speed automatic, and the power of the car is rear-wheel drive. Sadly, Atkinson never actually got to test this unique Phantom Drophead to its full potential during the filming or offset, so the performance of the model remains an unrealized puzzle for him. V8 Aston Martin Zagato. The 1986 Aston Martin V8. Zagato was one of 52 produced coupes, which gives insight into why it is rare and valuable. Atkinson, by the way, procured the express car at a costly price of £50,000 and had it made racer by Aston Martin Works. The Aston Martin wing for classic cars modified the engine to produce outputs of 482 horsepower and 412 pound-feet of torque that were further improved by adding lightweight trims and windows. This shaved off a total of 330 pounds. The resulting top speed was 186 miles per hour. Atkinson crashed the V8 Zagato during a 2001 race and eventually placed it on sale. The buyer didn't get the souped-up V8 Zagato modified for Atkinson, as it had been altered to comply with the factory specifications after the crash. Land Rover Defender Heritage. The Defender Heritage was a commemorative edition, made to celebrate the Defender, which had become an icon. The Hue 166 badges on the Heritage pay tribute to the first number plate, making it a worthy homage to the Defender's long existence. It was powered by a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine of 2.2 liters, with 120 horsepower and 266 pound-feet of torque, a 6-speed manual transmission, and on-demand all-wheel drive. To begin with, the Defender Heritage isn't one of the fastest, reaching 90 miles per hour, however. It can go on almost any terrain. Rowan Atkinson, who drove only 2,620 miles in his Defender Heritage, thinks it's time to hold a private and confidential auction, with the exact reason not being known. And with that, our video comes to end. Don't forget to subscribe.